You know, there comes a time in every man's life where he understands that in order to get his message out to the world, he's got to do something different. Something he's never done before. Now, this isn't all only about men. There's women that are in the same boat. You all want to... Just kidding. How's it going, everybody? Welcome. We're going to start here in 7 minutes. So if you're here, don't worry. That's the last of this you're going to ever have to hear. Really?
Yeah. Which is insane.
It's surprising because you're so amazing in front of the room.
Yeah, no, once I get in front of a room, I'm fine.
Where is it? Where is it coming up?
It's the invitation
Okay.
that scares the crap out of me.
Like inviting someone.
Yeah, like going up to people and saying, hey, this is a thing. And I think it's because I'm so passionate about it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this is something that's been brewing in my heart and mind for nearly a decade.
Yeah.
And so inviting people, like the risk of people saying, no, that's stupid, which has never happened. And all the times I've shared it.
No one would ever say that.
No, but like there's just this like there's just this thing that's like, Like, what if they do? And so having to like putting this thing that's like almost like my baby, right? Just in front of people and being like, here,
Oh dear. It's
you
like
discard this if you want. Like, and it's honestly just with the invitations, it's like, take care of it, please. But it doesn't matter. It's a 30-cent piece of paper.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting.
Do you mind if we talk about this today a little bit?
Absolutely,
Okay.
please, let's, because I
Okay.
would love to.
Because honestly, there's no difference in speaking in front of a large room than speaking with one person. The message is going to be the same, right?
Yeah.
The feedback, honestly, will probably be the same.
Yeah.
So I mean, depending, right? I mean, it's
Right.
in a big group of people, you're going to get varied feedback.
Yeah.
And when you speak to one person one-on-one, you're going to get varied feedback, right? Someone's going to say yes, someone's going to say no.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about that
Okay.
a little bit.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
Let's
because
do
it'll
it.
help the rest of us
Yeah.
start doing that.
Yeah. Doesn't matter how great you are in front of a room, if we can't fill it with people, it's not going to matter, right?
Yep.
So.
So true.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Good, how are you?
How do you do?
Good, thank you.
Good.
Good.
Good, good. It's good to see you guys.
Your
Your
name-
day's coming up.
Your name's Laura, right?
It is,
Right.
2 weeks. I have
Evans.
Right.
5 working days.
To be honest, I can't remember.
My name's
Less now.
Richard.
Like, because I'm
Yeah.
doing Mentor
My
Academy
wife,
and I'm
Kate
doing
Catherine.
Limitless.
She gave a good
So,
talk
and then my
last
event
night.
is the night that the Mentor Academy gets over.
You were there.
So I have today and tomorrow, Saturday, and then Monday and Tuesday next week to get everything ready. So
What is the Mentor Maker?
That is Mentor Academy. That's the actual larger end product that you can purchase after Mentor Maker if you choose to, where you get more
Mentor Maker is
specific.
what's after Mentor Academy.
Correct.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
It's essentially the Mentor Academy Inner Circle.
Correct.
Got it.
It's the higher ticket item.
Are you in that, Katie?
No, I'm not yet.
Not yet.
Not
Coming
yet.
soon.
Yep. Well, I think I'm just gonna do Inner Circle. Is what the plan is. And instead.
Okay, we're live. Who do you have online? We have some people online? Good. Well, let's do it. Time is precious and we are limitless, but limited in our time tonight at least. so we want to get things moving. Okay, so your responsibility, your homework was to go home and tweak some of those things, incorporating the changes that people brought. Who didn't get a chance to speak last week? Keely?
I did, but I don't really have one prepared.
That's okay. We might bring you up anyway. We'll see if that works. And tell me your name again.
Mariah.
Mariah. And you didn't speak last week either. Is this your first week here? Or you've been online? You've been attending
Are
online?
you throwing me under the bus?
Hey, I like it. Say it like it is.
Yes, I've been online.
Okay.
I have half of one written.
Perfect. We're gonna have you give and present half of it then. Okay.
I better read it. Okay.
So, if you're here for the first time, just want to say welcome to everybody. Thank you for being here. I know that we always have individuals that are kind of coming in, that'll be filing in as we start and get going here. This is all about teaching you how to speak. Before we jump in too far today, I want to go over a few things and help us all get on the same page. To speak well is one thing, and it's really important to be able to hold yourself in front of a group, be able to make the eye contact, be able to engage the crowd by helping them raise their hands, helping them communicate with each other, and all those kind of different things that you see really good speakers do. If you've everyone in here I think has been to Limitless, so you've experienced Chris and Gerald up on stage. They're very, very good at engaging people. But you know what? All that engagement doesn't really make a whole lot of difference unless you have people that are willing to listen to you, right? Being really great on stage is great if you have a lot of people that are not on stage listening to you. So I want to talk about a couple things because most of you here are either putting together a weekly event, a monthly event, you're planning for a grand opening. So all of you are here because you want to learn how to speak to your tribe and your group and get people coming along with whatever the message is that you're trying to get out there. But before we got started today, we were talking about just inviting people and just speaking with someone one-on-one. By the way, speaking with a large group is honestly really not a lot different than speaking with somebody one-on-one. You're going to engage a lot of the same things. And although I probably wouldn't go into a conversation with Heather here and say, hey Heather, how you doing? Raise your hand and say I'm doing great. Right? I wouldn't do that necessarily. A lot of the ideas behind what I'm doing and a lot of the energy that I'm going to bring to that conversation is going to be the exact same. And the responses are going to be very similar too, right? Heather has a choice. Either she can like what I'm saying or she cannot like it. Either she's going to join what it is I'm asking her to join, or she's going to say no. So yes or no, right? Those are always the answers. So I want to talk about some of these fears because at the end of the day, if we don't have a tribe gathered around us to hear our message, then our message will never get heard, and it doesn't really matter how great we are on stage, all right? So what comes up for you right now when we talk about inviting people? Let's just jump into it. How many of you have trouble inviting people to things? Raise your hand. Okay, some of us, a lot of us, not all of us necessarily. I think the majority of us do. Where are those issues? What are you afraid of? Let's just talk about it. Where's the fear? What's the limiting belief? Yeah.
Crossing the line, like if it doesn't have money attached to it, I mean that's different to me. But
Let's
I
pause
guess
there.
being genuine. I want to be genuine,
Yeah.
and I don't want to breach a level of trust by crossing the line.
Why is it why do you feel like it could breach a level of trust, and how would you feel like it wouldn't be genuine? And maybe the bigger question is, why did you delineate between whether you're earning money on it or not? Why does that make a difference?
Because it feels like there's an ulterior motive.
Okay. Okay.
There's this one side of me that goes, I have these fantastic tools and I want to tell the world about them, and man, it's changed my life, because that's completely accurate and true.
Yeah.
And then there's the other side of me that says, okay, let's be honest, you've hated salespeople your entire life and being sold, and yeah. Like I've kicked salespeople out of my house from MLMs, and now I'm gonna be that person? No, I don't wanna be that person. I wanna say, this is what I found.
Yeah.
Do you want it?
So let's just discuss this from a very root level here, because you're bringing up salespeople and MLMs, and now you're part of an MLM and blah blah blah. What do you not like about MLMs? Just let's start out with it.
What do I not like? What I don't like is feeling like somebody wants to be my friend just to get monetary gain.
Okay. Okay. What do you not like about that?
Because it feels insincere.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. McDonald's. Have you ever been there?
Yes.
We all been to McDonald's before.
Yes,
Okay,
we
we've all
worked
been to
there.
McDonald's. You've worked there. Fantastic. McDonald's has gone through a slew of different catchphrases and logos, and one that they use, I think, still right now, if I'm not mistaken, is "I'm loving it." Correct? Insinuating that there's this amazing community that just loves McDonald's, and McDonald's is providing this amazing atmosphere and whatever to their people, and wow, they're just all loving it. Let me ask you a question. When you have a real conversation with most individuals, do people like love McDonald's? No, it's like convenient, right? You can get a cheap burger for really cheap, and it's cheap, and it'll sit on your shelf, and it'll last there for 10 years without molding. You know, that's fine. You know?
And in your stomach.
Yeah, and in your stomach, right? So let me ask you a question. Is McDonald's do you look at McDonald's and be like, there's a bunch of sleazy salesmen?
No, because they're not targeting me individually.
Absolutely, they are.
Yeah, they are.
Are you?
Well, they might
you-
be, but they don't know my name, and they're not calling my house.
Okay.
And they're not pretending to be my friend.
Yes, they are pretending to be your friend.
They don't have a relationship to me.
They don't. Okay. I'm just
I
trying to
don't
get
allow
it.
them to have a relationship with
That's
me.
okay. I'm just trying to get this all out because here's the thing. So I sat down with a lady several months ago, and she came up to me. She said, well, she didn't come up to me. Her and her husband came to my office. We were talking about some different things. Her husband wanted to hold a grand opening, and she hates MLMs. Okay. I didn't know this when they came in, but as I'm sitting down talking to them, I'm sitting here in my seat, and they're across the table from me, and she's doing this thing,
That was me.
like the whole time.
That was me.
And she's looking at me, and she's like, you know, she's like muttering under her breath, like, you know, and I'm like observing this. I'm like, I can see you, right? You know what I mean? I didn't say that. Thinking to myself, I can see everything you're doing, you know. And I'm talking to him, and we're engaging. And finally, I just stopped the conversation because I realized this is going to go absolutely nowhere. He's not going to hold a grand opening, at least not a successful one, unless he has the support of his wife. And I stopped the conversation, and I look at her. I said, do you mind if I ask you something? She's like, sure. And I said, why are you here? And she's like, well, you know, it's my husband, I just want to support him, you know, whatever. I said, am I mistaken, or do you hate what's going on here? And she's like, well, I just can't stand MLMs. I was like, oh, okay, here it comes, good. It's like, this is fantastic. We're getting somewhere, you know? She's like, I can't stand MLMs. And I said, awesome. I said, it sounds like you've had some really horrible experiences. Can you tell me about them? And she just, yes, you know, and she opens up. She's like, yeah, I hate it, man. My brother and sister-in-law, they join every single MLM, and they always come over to my house, and they always give me the presentation because they want me to see if I'm smart about what I'm doing. And, you know, they take me through the whole thing, and I always feel like I have to buy products, so I do. And I never use it, and I hate it, and I just can't stand it. So I looked at her, and I said, okay, man, thank you for sharing. I really appreciate that. I said, can I give you my interpretation of what you just said? And she's like, sure. Okay, I said, you don't hate MLMs, you hate your brother and sister-in-law. And I said it kind of jokingly. I smiled a little bit afterwards, and she looked at me. She busted up laughing a little bit. And I said, no, but seriously, you don't hate MLMs. You hate this very specific interaction that you've been having with the same couple for however many years now, right? She said, yeah. I said, oh, well, I can work with that. I said, what if I was able to show you something where we don't do all those things that all those other people do? We don't have the same conversations, and we don't have to be pushy. By the way, can you be in sales and not be pushy and still get a sale? Yes, absolutely. Can you offer them something that they otherwise would have never seen, and it would have never understood how it could benefit them, and offer it in such a way where they now understand those benefits? Absolutely. What I think all of us don't like are the salespeople that are bad at sales. Because I've been sold by some amazing salesmen and saleswomen, people that are great at their craft, and they're wonderful at it. And what they do well is they listen to me very, very well, and then they see a need and they fill the need, right? What we don't like is when someone comes up to me, because I've had people knock on my door and start selling me on something, and they're telling me that all of a sudden, having no idea of who I am, they know what I need, right? Hey, I know what you need. You need this, that, and the other. I'm like, no, really don't. I just bought this actually at Target yesterday, so I don't really need this, right? But so it's like, find out what I want first. I actually had a guy come in my office even just a few months ago, and now I can't even remember the conversation. That's how much I cared about it. I can't remember exactly what we were talking about, but he started telling me about what I wanted or what I needed or different things, and he didn't know one thing about me. This is the first meeting I had ever had with this guy. And I remember in my mind thinking to myself, what are you getting at? Like, you don't have a clue what I want or who I am or what I'm thinking or anything. And finally I stopped him in his conversation. I asked him, I said, what's your aim right now? I said, because you don't really know me, and you're assuming all these things based on information that you don't have, because no one's given it to you, and I haven't given it to you. And I wasn't being mean. I was just being straightforward, you know. And anyway, so we continued our conversation and never talked to him since. So I just want you to get clear and make sure you're clear in your language as well. Don't say you hate sales, because that's not true. Because every item of clothing that you've purchased is because someone sold it to you. Now, I know that you think that you went to the store and found it on a rack and you made the decision, but guess who placed it on that rack exactly there so that you could actually go down and find it, right? And guess who set it up in that way and drove brand equity because they had all these commercials that made you want to go there in the first place to pick up your clothing there, or whatever it is, right? We are constantly being sold, and sales is actually a good thing. Not only are we constantly being sold, but we're constantly selling people on something. You were just trying to sell me just now on how you hate salesmen. And I already know for a fact that you don't hate salesmen because you've only met a few of them, right? So there's no way that you can hate salesmen or women, right? You have hated or not liked some of the interactions you've had with some of them. So we got to get clear, because in our minds, if we start saying this idea, if we will believe it. If we say we hate salesmen or we hate salespeople, we will begin to believe it. Because we want to believe, we have all these evidences, and we're going to say, well, remember that interaction with that person, and remember that one with that person, I'm going to stuff those away right back in here. Remember that one? Yep, I'm stuff right that. So obviously, because of all these evidences I have, I hate salespeople. No, I don't. I'd get rid of that. I didn't like those people, but those are just some limited interactions. Is it possible that we can have really positive and create really positive interactions as sales individuals? Because if we don't, guess what? You will never be successful as an entrepreneur, right? So this is one of those core things that we've got to get rid of. And as a speaker, by the way, you'll also never be successful. Because as a speaker, you are constantly selling something. Even if you're trying to get someone to sign up on the free app or sign up for a free game plan, you've got to sell that idea. You'd be surprised. When we first started just doing free game plans, we would walk into a room and we get like 30% of the people to ask for a free game plan. 30%, that's ridiculous. That's dumb. Like everyone should get a free game plan. Not 30%. It's free. I'm not selling you anything. I'm just telling you, you gotta, this is gonna be good for you. But as we progress and as we learned as speakers and as we understood how to better engage the crowd and do different things, those numbers went from 30% to 90%, to oftentimes we get 100% of the room that would fill out a game plan. And so just convince yourself and be okay with this idea that, number one, sales are not just necessary, they're awesome, right? Like sales are amazing. And I can be an amazing salesman. Everyone say that real quick. Sales, first of all, sales are amazing.
Sales are amazing.
And I can be an amazing salesperson.
And I can be an amazing salesperson.
Or say it differently. I am an amazing salesperson.
I am an amazing salesperson.
Okay, now if you don't believe it right now, say it in the mirror and say it to yourself, into your eyes, and literally connect with yourself. Like, how many of you actually take time to connect with yourself, like in the mirror? Do you ever do this? Every once in a while, I get up and I'll be feeling off, and I'll just seriously, I'll just like stare at myself in the mirror for a few minutes. Until I'm like, okay, are we on the same page? You might think I'm a little crazy now, but literally, I'll just sit there, I'll stare at my eyes, and be like, okay, what's going on? Like, what's happening for you right now? Why are you feeling this way? Because you're an amazing salesman, and you're an amazing person, and you're out here trying to help people. So, what are these feelings, and can we get rid of them? Let's dive deep down into that. Because until you understand and recognize that not only are you an amazing salesperson, but that sales are fantastic, necessary, and wonderful. Because without them, business doesn't happen. And without business, economies are shot. We don't earn money. We don't put food on the table. We don't, we don't provide the roof over the head. We don't do anything, right? Without sales. Does that make sense?
Yes, although I would add at the end, I'm an amazing salesperson because I am sharing something of great value.
Fantastic.
So then
Yeah.
it changes
Absolutely.
why.
But you would never, as a person, share something of horrible value anyway, would you?
No, I hope not.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what I can see in you right now. That's not your personality. And I don't even know you very well. But I can see already that you wouldn't go out there just selling trash because you're trying to make an extra $1. You would sell something that you're in integrity with, something that you believe in, right? So already that yes, you're going to definitely share value with people.
Okay.
What else comes up?
I'm just wondering if you need a microphone.
No, we actually have we're a shotgun mic, so they're picking up the whole room. Yeah, thank you very much.
I listened last week and I could barely hear anything when
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Keely.
One of the biggest things that's been coming up for me is that because the things that I'm sharing are so very dear to me,
Yeah.
that almost there's a part of me that's placing my value in their answer. Like my value as a person is being placed, and I recognize in my head that it's something I need to stop. But there's still this like visceral reaction that I have to when they say no. They're not just saying no to this idea that's like my baby, but they're saying no to me, which means that I have less value as a person.
Awesome. Okay.
I realize there's like layers of there.
That's
of stuff
okay.
there, but
I'm going to dive into somewhere specific that where my mind went, and I believe that for whatever it's worth, we'll see if it helps
Yeah.
here. Is your message your message?
yeah.
Is it really though?
Well,
Here's what I mean. Is any of our messages like ours? Do we own that message? Or, and maybe I'm wording it wrong. Where I'm trying to get at is, so I believe that all messages come from God. This is me, right? This is my belief. I believe whatever it is, I've been given a certain specific set of circumstances, trials, experiences that have now, for me, brought me to the point where I feel called to whatever the message is that I'm called to speak about, right? And so for me, when I look at this message, I look at it as, this isn't really even my message. I'm just kind of a spokesman for it, right? And by the way, are there other people that share the exact same message that I'm going to?
Yes.
Absolutely. there are hundreds, maybe thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people that are deeply touched and moved by the exact same message and have even felt to get on stage to share it, right? So is it my message? No, not really. Am I championing it? Absolutely. But because it's not my message, what I think in the sales process that I can do is I can detach just a little bit. And maybe detach totally. Detach. Anyway, whatever. There's no T there, is there?
No T.
No T. Detach. There we go. So I can detach from the outcome and understand that the rejection isn't about me, and it's not towards me, nor is it towards even my message. Here's the funny thing about all this, honestly, is this message, usually you don't even get it out before it's going to be rejected. Correct?
Correct.
Right? So you're out here like this, and can I see one of your invitations? Right? So you're going around talking to people, and you're out and you're meeting people. You say, hey, tell me your name.
Levi.
Levi, thank you. I'm Steven. Fantastic. Hey, great to meet you. And I know that I just met you out here in the street, but I am so excited. Now, he doesn't know me from anybody, does he? But I'm passionate about my thing, and maybe Levi's, playing guitar on the street or something, and for money. I don't know, right? But I'm seeing him. Don't worry about it. I'm just saying, right? Maybe that's what he's doing, okay? And so I see him on the street. I want to invite him to my event because it's all about the creative arts, and I'm really excited because, man, I'm seeing his talent, and it's amazing, and I'm passionate, and I'm just meeting Levi here for the first time, and so I'm going up to Levi, and I'm so excited, but I understand that Levi at any point could say, I'm not interested, and he probably will because that's what we're trained to do. So I'm going up to Levi and say, hey, Levi, I've got this event, man, and wow, what an amazing job. I just heard you play the guitar, and it was fantastic, and wow, it just blew my mind. I've got actually this event that's coming up. It's all about the creative arts and utilizing our passions to bless other people. I'd love for you to come. Is that something you come to? Say no.
No.
No. Now let me ask you a question. He just said no. Does he know really anything about my message really yet? Absolutely not. I mean, I've given him a 30-second pitch or 15-second pitch, but he doesn't know what it's about. So what's he really saying no to?
I don't know you.
His
Huh?
perception.
He's saying no to himself right now. He has no idea what it is that I'm bringing to the table or what I'm saying or anything. I haven't even gotten into it yet. He doesn't know the scope of what we're bringing to the table. He knows nothing about Limitless. He knows nothing about your goals and intentions to build this. He doesn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So most of us, and most of the time when someone says no to us, which is why you're told in sales to continue forward even when someone says no, to continue to follow up and say, hey, well, let me, do you mind if I put you on my drip list and tell you about my next one that's coming? Oh, sure, that's not invasive. I can do that, right?
Okay.
I'll do that. So first of all, understanding that usually when people are saying no, it has nothing to do with you. Nor does it usually have anything to do with your message because the no typically comes before you've gotten any of that out, right? Especially in an invite, right? If I'm here to just give you an invitation, Keely, and I'm excited about my event, is it possible that in my conversation with you, that you had a horrible, horrible morning?
Yes.
And you just found out that, a good friend in high school that you were really close to passed away or something like that happened, right? And here I am, I'm coming with really huge excitement. This may be even an event that you wanted to come to. And so I'm inviting you. Is there a possibility that you could say in that invitation, no, I don't want to come? But deep down you really do want to come?
Yes.
But in this moment you don't want to come?
Yes.
Does that happen all the time with all of us?
Yeah.
How many times does someone invite you to something and you're like, right now I've just been so busy this week and I'd like to go, but I really don't want to. Like you're saying this to yourself. Like how many times does this happen to you? It happens to me all the time. I'm like, really don't want, I'd love to go to it, but man, I don't really want to go. So, no thanks. Not interested. Am I interested? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so did I lie to myself just now and that person? Yeah, right? This happens all the time. So part of this that helps me anyway, and maybe it will help you, is to detach from that outcome, understanding that message really isn't yours anyway, and understanding that their no isn't about you, it's not to you, it's not towards your message, but right now we're just kind of going through a filtering process, right? I just want to filter out. I want to get to the quickest yeses as fast as I possibly can. And the only way for me to do that is to be able to go up to everybody and say, hey, how you doing? You want to come to my event? It's fantastic. Here it is. It's this time. And then go to the next person. She'll say yes or no. Then go to the next person. Hey, do you want to come to my event? It's fantastic. My name's Stephen Miller. Hey, how are you doing?
No.
Right? No. He's like, right? Hey, you want to come to my event? It's awesome. Music and, yeah, right? No. We'll see. Fantastic. Hey, I've got this wonderful event. It's coming. You want to come to my event? No, see, I already knew. I already knew that she wanted to come to my event. You know?
Drag me along.
Yeah, that's right. And now I know he'll come too. It's fantastic.
Two for the price of one.
Okay, but part of this is also in learning how to speak, because we're here not, I mean, obviously we're here talking about inviting and sales a little bit, but honestly, to be a successful speaker, you've got to be a successful salesperson, right? You have to, otherwise you're not going to be a successful speaker. You have to learn and engage with people. And you've got to engage with people differently than they've ever experienced it before. How many of you have experienced that Chris Crone engages with you differently than you probably experienced almost anyone in your life, right? He does. Because he understands that if he doesn't say some of those things to you that you've never heard before, no one else in the world will. That's just typical, right? So we have to become that person that will say the things that no one else is going to. And if I'm coming up to you, Keely, and I know that you're into the creative arts, I'm not going to say, hey, I've got this event and I'd love for you to come. I look at you right in the face and I say, Keely, I don't care what you're doing. On this event, you have to be here. And I understand that you might be busy and other things might be happening, whatever. Clear your schedule.
Get there.
Will you do that? Right? I would come to you differently because I know you. And as I'm inviting you, you may and you still will have the wherewithal and the agency and the choice to say, you know, Stephen, I really don't want to go. And then I'll say, Keely, you don't want to go to what? Because I haven't told you anything about it yet. Right? Like, how often do we just leave that elephant in the room? Just sit there and blow his trunk, right? How often do we just let it sit there and we don't actually address it? Like, how many times do people say, no, I'm not interested, and we say, oh, I'm sorry, not interested in what? Because I haven't actually even told you anything about it yet. Like, we don't say that. We're like, oh, you're not interested. All right. You know, we just leave it alone. Bull crap. You don't even know what it's about yet, right? Don't tell me you're not interested. Or how about this, like, you know what, I don't have any money. Bull! Do you have a cell phone? Do you pay for cable or TV or whatever else? Do you ever go get your hair done? You know, your nails, or I don't know. I mean, what are we spending? You know, and this is the thing for me, for all of this kind of conversation is we just let it go because we're trained as a society to just let it go. And in that letting of it, in letting it go, again, it's not that I want to force someone to do anything, because I can't. But I do want to, with as much passion as I can muster, give them the greatest benefit of a doubt and give them the greatest opportunity to choose in. If I come in like weak sauce, they're going to say no 90% of the time. And it's going to be that small 5-10%, maybe even less, right? It might be that small 2% that like feel called to it, that I have to do nothing for, that will actually show up, right? Because they feel bad because I've got so much relationship equity in with them that they just can't say no. I already know those people are going to come, right? I could set this on fire, you know, set it on their doorstep under a pile of crud, and they'd still come to my event, you know? Like, sorry, I'm on one today, I guess. But do you know what I'm saying? Like, those people are going to come regardless. Like, I could give them the worst invitation ever, and they're still going to come. I'm excited for those people to come because they're going to sign up no matter what I do, right? I could botch it and do horrible, and they'll still come and sign up. But I'm really interested in that other 10, 20% who honestly are going to try to disqualify themselves. They're going to try and want to say no because that's how they're programmed. They're going to give excuses because that's how they're programmed. And so those are the people that those are the ones that I'm bringing this passion to. And then once I've brought the passion and I've invited them the very best way that I can, I'm going to let it be. Right? And I'm going to say, oh, awesome. You know, if they say no, you know, I really just don't want to come. And after I say, well, let me tell you a little more about it, and they say, you know, I'm really just not interested. I just don't want to come. Like, oh, awesome. Hey, by the way, do you know anyone else in your circle of influence that would love to come to an event like this? Would you get me in touch with them? But we don't do that either. We say if he's not interested, obviously he or she doesn't have anyone else that's probably going to be interested. No, you know. So this is all about. It really is a mental shift. Like, we have to change the way that we think about it. Because if we think about it as going to be hard, and if we think about it as something that's, you know, going to crush us if they say no. By the way, if they say no, isn't that great? Because if they come and they bring that energy of no into that room, and they're there the whole time thinking no, 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 but they came because they felt like they had to for whatever reason, is that going to be detrimental to your whole entire thing? Yeah, it's going to pull and suck away from what you're trying to do. right? So we let them go after we've talked to them 13 times about it.
Well, okay, so I'm just thinking about just the role that I have come to understand is really thinking through your event,
Yeah.
what it's going to feel like, what it's going to look like, and also really not putting a lot of energy into those, which is where I always went before, in that they are going to say no. Why would they trust me? Why is my message any different than anyone else's? All that. It's really also with the belief that people are going to say yes,
Yeah.
and that you have a message that is going to resonate with them, and that you're going to be led to the people who are wanting to be part of that group.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, I was at the last week's event, and Ken was doing.
Yeah.
And he said we had to go somewhere where we didn't know anyone and just approach someone and share lunch with them.
Yeah.
And so I just went in there, and I only had 20 minutes, so I didn't have much time to really think about it. And I just went and had this great interaction with this person that as we're sitting here, I'm thinking, I need to invite her for